Okay, so today in my Orlando series, I will be reviewing Mako, the B&M Hypercoaster at SeaWorld Orlando. This is one of those coasters that just met the expectations that I had for it. And the expectations I was setting pretty high because I was expecting it to be kind of similar to Diamondback, and I wasn't expecting it to be as good as Diamondback because I know that Diamondback provides the most airtime of any steel coaster, and it's a pretty good B&M Hyper. It's not as good as Diamondback, but still really good. The one thing that I can complain about with this is I kind of teased it yesterday when I was talking about the staff on White Lightning letting you just stay on. Well, I was at SeaWorld on a dead day, and they made me walk around every single time. And I found that really annoying, even though they were sending out trains that were half empty. At least. They made me walk around. So, that's my biggest complaint about this ride. So let's talk about the actual ride experience. So, after you crest the lift hill, you go down that drop, and it's a pretty good drop. And then that overbank turn that you do afterwards is one of the better overbank turns I've experienced. And that airtime hill after the overbank turn provides airtime as insane as the airtime that Diamondback provides. I'll be comparing the airtime hills to Diamondback a lot because they're similar. And it's good that I'm comparing the airtime hills on Mako to the airtime hills on Diamondback because the airtime hills on Diamondback are insane. But anyway, then you go around the turnaround, which is fairly standard B&M Hypercoaster turnaround, and then you hit that trimmed airtime hill. And because of this hill, I say this is definitely a front row ride. In the back row, it's after the trims hit, so you'll get less airtime on the remaining hills after this. But in the front row, you crest it before you hit the trim, so you'll just get more airtime because it's not trimmed airtime all the way. After the trimmed hill, the airtime hills, the next one has a fairly weird shape for a B&M Hyper, where you are actually doing a curved drop out of it, which gives a pretty good sensation, and it gives just as much airtime as normal in the front row. In the back row, you get less airtime after this for some reason. And then you go over that next hill, which is an ejector hill. You get plenty of airtime on that, and then going into the brake run, I'd say you get more airtime than any coaster going into the brake run that I've ever experienced. You actually get plenty of airtime when you pull up to the brake run. Normally, I hate it when a coaster has a mid-course brake run, but this is actually not bad, the way you get airtime on it. Do you imagine if that were a straight-up airtime hill? That would be insane. And then you go down, and then the ending actually did impress me. I know that's a controversial opinion, but I liked the way that the overbank turns made me go out of my seat. Basically, the way I'll compare it to White Lightning's turnaround, which was by far the most impressive part of that ride for me. It's definitely comparable to that, the way you get sideways airtime. So this is probably my favorite B&M coaster in Orlando. It's definitely the most incredible B&M coaster that is in the city. It provides good airtime and awesome elements all through the ride. My one complaint is how the staff makes you walk around even if there's no line, but I mean, that's not a fault of the coaster design, that's just the staff. And I don't get why they're like this, because the other coasters at SeaWorld, they'll just let you re-ride if there's not a line. And I marathoned the crap out of this and Manta, but I was able to do Manta more because I didn't have to get off and walk around. But anyway, it's still a good ride. Definitely worth riding, and if there are lines, you won't even notice the one complaint I have about it. I'm going to give Mako an A.